I call the shots, I never call it quits. Trust my intuition, bet it's right and bitch, it often is. Seen too many others come and go, they had the wrong intent. Do it out of love and never for it, then I watch it get bigger than expected. Don't second guess it, I let it set in. It's God's plan, we out here only accepting blessings. I'm stuck with it, this mindset is terminal. In it at different terminals, leveling up is personal. And I already made it, y'all can miss me. It's hard to believe I made something from nothing. No hindsight discussions, I've been writing, I love it.
Welcome to the 3 Gig Sports Podcast, where we are never wrong, just sometimes misinformed. This is Danny G, sitting alongside my guys Real and Jimmer today, and we've got some fun shit to talk about tonight. We spent some time before the podcast working on getting a setup so we can do some more interviews over the phone, Zoom, things like that. We want to bring some different content to you guys, so look forward to that here in the future. I don't know. There's a lot going on out there, so unless you got something else, we'll kick it over to you, Jimmer.
Yeah. The 76ers are emerging as front runners to acquire center DeAndre Jordan, either as a waiver claim or free agent signing. The Sixers have been aggressive in pursuit of a backup center since including Andre Drummond in their trade deadline deal to acquire James Harden from the Nets. The Lakers' waiving of Jordan on Monday moves the Sixers closer to filling that roster hole. If he goes through waivers and then gets picked up, the Lakers save $4.2 million or something like that. Doesn't really matter, but
it's good for Philly. They need it, so.
Yeah, definitely get some more minutes from a big man than Joel Embiid.
Give him a little break off the floor for rebounding. Sure as hell isn't a shooter anymore, but
No, hell of a rebounder still, and it gives him a chance to win as well, going over to Philly. So, all
right. Two-time All-Star guard Isaiah Thomas is signing a 10-day contract with the Hornets. The Hornets are 30-32, have struggled in recent weeks, losing 11 of 13 games to drop to 9th in the Eastern Conference. Thomas, who's 33, has averaged 41.3 points in 3 games with the Grand Rapids Gold of the G League. There has been, up until today, which I'm going to talk about, up until today, there was 3 50-point games in the G League, and 2 of them are owned by Isaiah Thomas this year.
Yeah, the guy's been bouncing around on 10-day contracts for a while and then going down to the G League, it seems like. I mean, I don't know what it is about teams not liking him, but
I was going to go up the same alley.
You're
telling me that dude can't come off your bench and be part of your bench, your scoring bench mob?
Right, no kidding.
Doesn't make any sense. How many teams need a scorer like that?
Right,
exactly. So, I mean, I don't get it and why he's always on these 10-day contracts. Not sure what the deal is, but
yeah, you think maybe is he still asking for too much money? What?
I highly doubt that. When you've been humbled for the last couple of years now doing this, I don't.
It just doesn't make sense though.
I don't know. It's almost like you know what? We need scoring, but we still want you to look prototypical. We don't want you to be 5'6", 5'7", or whatever is because he's short as shit.
Get those leg extensions, bro. Let's go.
Yeah, get that couple inches. Here's one of the bigger ones. MLB has canceled opening day, with Commissioner Rob Manfred announcing Tuesday the sport will scrap regular season games over a labor dispute for the first time in 27 years after acrimonious lockout talks collapsed in the hours before management's deadline. Manfred canceled the first 2 series for each of the 30 teams, cutting each club's schedule from 162 games to likely 156 at most. A total of 91 games were erased. So a little backdrop of what, so evidently they got pretty damn close.
That's what it sounded like. I was going to say I had hopes when they pushed it from Monday to Tuesday.
And they were there past 2 a.m., right?
Yeah.
So some stuff's starting to come out about what happened because they were real close. Like MLB brought the minimum salary up to $700,000 for that offer. They were, so they were like right there on the cusp. Evidently, a couple things happened. Number one, do you know the name Scott Boras?
Yeah.
Super agent that basically owns every high flyer in MLB.
Yep.
Evidently came into these meetings and said no. And talked all of his players into this because a high majority of the player reps are with him. as in like the players are with his agency.
Yeah.
Evidently, Max Scherzer is one of his clients too. Went just absolutely bonkers, and they're yelling, screaming, the whole works, and like just to blow this deal up out of nowhere, because Boris was trying to get them to basically, you know what, you guys can get a better deal, and you need to start over from new, not even work from this one. So I was fully on the player side. I have been on the player side. If any part of this is true, especially everything that I was got, Manfred's Manfred, whatever. They all take it as, I think they're all missing something. Like, I'm talking about the owners and the players. Like, you're missing a lot. First off, you're in a dying sport. You're going to lose your younger crowd. We're going through some pretty big crises in the world right now. War going on, and you guys are blowing up. We're talking about splitting the pot of money.
Yeah,
is what it comes down to. And I guess when you raise it up to $700,000, I'm like, you're in the ballpark, right?
At the end of the day, you play a game for a living. On the players' side, I'm with you. I'm usually on the players' side on most everything, but it's like if they're close, you play a game for a living, making more money than most anybody will in their lifetime.
And people are fighting right now,
and
right?
even if you're on that lower end of the salary, and what did you say, $700,000?
Yeah.
How many years is it going to take for somebody to make $700,000?
Well, how many people lost their jobs and everything that went on with that, and made their stance even on their own beliefs or whatever? But
right, it's just at the end of the day, you play a game for your job. What's a little bit of give and take here and there to go out and perform for everybody who's going to pay their good earned hard money to watch you play a game.
And you let an agent do this too, by the way.
Yeah, not a player.
Yeah, not a player. You let the super agent come in there, and because evidently they were like real close. That's the reason why they extended it out. They stayed late that night.
Yeah,
and then all that shit. And you just threw it in because some agent came in and told you. I'm like, are you kidding me right now?
Why did it get so close all of a sudden?
I think they were ready to just kind of be done. At the end of the day, the two major things that we were talking about that they were battling was they want free agency sooner. They want your bottom dollar up, and that's mixed with that arbitration, all that too, comboed up in there. And then a luxury tax for so that tanking becomes harder to do, and you actually have to pay. Basically, so you have to use so much money, so you're constantly paying somebody out. You're not just tanking and pushing them off to contenders, and you don't have to pay anything, which drops the bottom dollar, right? It all came down to dollars and cents. I mean, I guarantee that was at the heart of it. Like, hold on, we're literally overthinking this. That's what I'm assuming. They're like, we're overthinking this. You want $950,000 for a minimum or whatever the dollar amount was. I told you at one time. I can't remember what it is. We'll come up to 7. Let's get there. They weren't moving the arbitration, but what can you do then? We already said the MLB hates arbitration, so they weren't going to do anything with that, I don't think. But what can you do that makes that here's the give and take? You know what? We'll make free agency a little sooner. We won't do the arbitration where we're paying you more, or because they hate going through that. They want you on that contract that they signed you to in the first place, right? That's the whole point of arbitration, is to get you paid what you're worth because you outplayed
fair.
So they don't want that, but you know what? I bet you they were pretty damn close. They're like, hey, you know what? We'll take a year off of to where you can become a free agent sooner or something like that. Evidently, they were pretty damn close, and then all this shit went down.
So I'll take a different stance. I get what you guys are saying as a player. You play a game, take the money, let's get the season going and things like that. On the other end of that, so Scott Boras, what does he do for a living? Besides, he's an agent, but what does he do? Literally, he reads contracts, negotiates prices, things like that, which is exactly what this is. Yep. So I'm tempted to believe he is obviously the best at his job. Otherwise, he wouldn't have the guys that he has, right? He's the best at doing what he does in Major League Baseball. I'm tempted to believe that he saw something in there that he didn't like and that wasn't going to benefit his guys specifically.
Well, exactly. But that's, to me, is that taking care of your guys, or is that taking care of every other player? Because it's bringing the low-end guys up.
Yeah.
So he's worrying about his own dollar. So you're not worried about baseball at that point.
So that's the only part that everybody's talking about is that low dollar. Okay, they almost got close to matching it out of nowhere, by the way, which is weird. So what else was in there to make him fired up, right? So I'm tempted to believe there's more to it. There's a bigger reason why he would come in and blow up like that, because this is what he does. And if you're in his position, you've got all the best guys right now. If you totally fuck over the rest of the league, these up-and-coming guys that could end up being yours, things like that, that's only going to hurt you in the long term. So I don't think he's willing to risk that.
I don't think it's messing with them. I think he's, if anything, he's showing, hey, I could go and bat for you. So if you're looking for an agent,
look how much I can sway.
How much I can do, what I can do for you in the future. Because baseball is going to be baseball. There's going to be millions of agents out there that are going to get tons of money regardless of who the guy is. This one, he's just putting a statement out there. Hey, I'll bat for you. Might as well come sign with me.
Maybe.
I have a feeling. So I'm not saying you're wrong. I would like to see everything that came out of this. This is kind of just what's being reported. It was like from a baseball writer that had seen some of this too. I'm actually leaning more towards. So I'm all about someone getting paid, right, and getting taken care of, and especially grabbing obviously one of the best agents or the best agent. But I think this is more about Scott Boras than it is anything else, in my opinion. I think he sees that bottom dollar. There's other stuff that goes into this, but he probably sees that bottom dollar, and maybe he starts losing a stranglehold on, because he is the monopoly of like agents in baseball.
Yeah.
But he's not worrying about all those bottom ones. Well, you just brought the bottom dollar up. If you bring the bottom dollar up, that means the max paid guys are probably going to end up coming down a little bit, right? That's coming out of his pocket.
Sure.
But it's still making everybody else trying to come up through the system like get better taken care of too. Yeah. So it looks like a greed move on his part. I'm not talking about MLB necessarily because I don't know yet. Or MLB PA, I should say. But it must not have been that bad if they were that damn close and then all of a sudden he comes in. Because they have a negotiator in there, as in on their side, and representatives. These aren't stupid people. That's the reason why I think when Scott Boras got involved and he popped in like that it's about him. It's about what he's going to end up losing. He'd have to take on even more to make up that $2 million he's missing per contract or whatever. You know, that's what it feels like. I could be 100% wrong, but let's just say I would not be shocked if it comes out more like that than the other way. Because if they were that close on most of the stuff, because they were miles apart, right? That means the MLB had to give in on some stuff, not just the pay. If they were miles apart and then all of a sudden you were down to the wire and you guys are almost there, and all of a sudden an agent comes in and tells you no.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. I do. I get what you're saying. It's just, it just feels a little.
There's definitely ego there, man. Yeah, he's a egotistical guy for sure, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, he like controls those situations. He controls those contracts, all that stuff. Like the big boy ones, his name is attached to all those. Mm-hmm. He tells them how to play through, and how we're going to do this. We're going to get you a ridiculous amount of money. So yeah. It's got to be something hitting his wallet, in my opinion. But like I said, it'll all come out here eventually.
Yeah, either way, it's a big deal. We're missing games, man.
Yeah, I didn't realize they were that close though either. All of a sudden, it did feel a little better because we seen it come across that we extended it out. Then they were up until 2-3 o'clock in the morning doing this Eastern time, and then boom, kibosh.
I don't have a good feeling about that either. About how fast things came together and started to look. I don't know what. To me, that just makes me think something else is missing. Like some of the big pieces are close, but then what else is falling short? Because MLB is not just going to be like, okay, yeah, we'll get way closer now because they weren't close on anything. And then all of a sudden you're telling me in a day, they're like, oh, yeah, we're going to get way closer to what you were asking for. We're going to make this work just because we don't want to miss games.
So I think, and this is kind of a conspiracy theory of mine, I guess.
Conspiracy corner.
Here we go.
Conspiracy corner. There's a lot of politics that go even into all the sports. What's going on right now? Big war, right? Putin's going crazy, right? Activating nuclear stuff. So, and there's no sports, right? When your major sports is close to losing games, we're talking half the season. So what are people going to be paying attention to? That, all the influxation in prices that are happening right now, we're already seeing it. How do you get their mind off that? You have sports going on.
I like it.
So I'm sure somewhere politically there's like, hey, y'all need to get closer and get this thing rolling.
Like you're talking about the push for them to get closer. I
right.
got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that. Yeah. All right.
That's my kind of conspiracy corner there is I always feel that there's politics going on
Definitely.
up high.
Yeah, in sports,
in
for
all
sure.
kinds
Yep.
of sports, yeah.
Boom.
Well, it helps drive the economy all the way around, right? Sports, American sports, all of them help
yeah.
drive the economy.
Yep.
I don't know. I think they were ready. And if they're hanging up on something small, like you're thinking, that's not the way to negotiate. You don't hang up. You don't stop an agreement purely on some small stuff. If the big stuff was kind of worked out and they found middle ground, it's not the small stuff. That small stuff is literally like an agent. You know, I don't know. I just feel, and maybe they felt like hold on. Did you guys notice this little sub article over here? You know, like, hey, you did this, and this, but they can also hose you with this one right here that you're not paying attention to. Maybe there is something like that, but UFC middleweight Darren Till has a new training partner in breakout star Khamzat Chimaev. Is that how you say it?
Kazmat.
What's his? How do you say his last name?
Chimaev. Something
Chimaev?
Like that. Yeah.
Something crazy.
He also has a new UFC contract. Till of Liverpool made headlines this week when he surfaced at All Stars Training Center alongside Chimaev. Till told ESPN he is still associated with his longtime training camp, Team Carbone in England, but wanted to spend time with the soon-to-be champ at some point.
Yeah. That's good. Get a little bit better training partners for him because he's been on a kind of bad skid ever since he was close to a title shot. But it's good for him. He definitely needs some work on the ground. He can strike pretty decently, but, that's where Kazmat's going to help in that wrestling background and stuff like that. So good for him.
Hell yeah, because Darren Till's a stud, man. If he could get his shit straight, he could do something. I saw some video of him. I don't know if you saw this too, but him and Kazmat training, and so Kazmat's calling him Fat Boy, trying to get him to work harder and do more and stuff. And he is not by any stretch fat, right? Like, but he's just talking shit, trying to get him to do more like burpees or something like that. He's definitely going to push him. This could be totally the right decision.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what I was telling Ryan at work. We have these big old hoppers that you can get in, and they read a scale. Well, we're calling up from the radio, and down to the ground floor. And I'm on the monitor, and he hops in. He has to grab a piece out and then hop out, and then we're going to move these slide gates, basically. But when he hops in, the scale goes up to 198 pounds. I call up on the radio. I'm like, Jesus Christ, Chunky, lose some weight. And by the way, I'm a big guy, so
You can talk shit, right?
I'd say whatever I want.
That's right.
Valentina Shevchenko and Taylor Santos flyweight title bout targeted for UFC 275. Shevchenko is ESPN's top pound-for-pound female fighter. At flyweight, ESPN has Shevchenko ranked number 1 and Santos at number 5. Shevchenko has won 8 straight fights, including 2 of the past 3 via TKO. Santos, though, is 19-1, has won 4 straight. Most recently, first-round submission win over Joanne Wood in November. The Brazil native has just 1 career loss, her UFC debut against Mara Romero Barella in 2019.
Yeah, taking Shevchenko all the way. She's a stud. Until somebody just absolutely stops her.
I'm going to have to go the other way. You know why, though, right?
Because of what we saw.
Because of what we said. Because I was going to go 100% with what you're saying, but then what I saw in Nunez, like maybe it's just a year of upsets. Because I think Shevchenko's a nasty, nasty fighter, too.
Yeah.
Borderline untouchable.
She's shown that she can do it everywhere, and between the ground game as well. I mean, she's probably not going to submit that many people, but where she can hold her own, and she's not going to put herself in danger. She can work back to her feet and keep it on the feet if she wants. I just don't see anybody beating her in a while.
No, the only person that can is Amanda.
Most
who
likely,
has once, I can't remember how many times they've actually fought.
I think once.
Yeah, so she's beaten her, and that probably is you said 8-fight win streak. It probably goes back to Amanda beating her.
Yeah.
She's the GOAT in her weight class for sure. She's tearing it up. Nobody's coming close, but this gal could do the exact same thing that we just saw to Nunez. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah. Speaking of which, we'll get to, since we're on UFC, let's get to the big boy story, right? Cain Velasquez, former UFC heavyweight champ, was arrested Monday on suspicion of attempted murder and booked into Santa Clara County Jail. Velasquez is being held without bail, according to online records. He has a court date set for Wednesday, or today. The San Jose PD announced Monday evening that there was a shooting in the city near an intersection. He's accused of targeting Harry Eugene Goularte, who is charged with allegedly molesting one of Velasquez's young relatives. Velasquez faces 10 counts that could carry more than 20 years in jail if convicted, per a court document. According to the DA's office, Velasquez was following Goularte's truck in his own vehicle during an 11-mile high-speed chase through San Jose, rammed the truck, and then fired a .40 cal handgun multiple times into the truck with Goularte and 2 other relatives. Goularte's 63-year-old stepfather, Paul Bender, was struck once in the arm and torso, but is expected to survive.
Free my boy.
Yep, let him out.
For the reason in which he's firing.
For the
right?
reason in which he's...
Okay, yep.
Yeah, for the reason. I think it was...
He was saving...
He had done it over 100 times.
Over 100
touched
times.
this kid.
Yeah, that's...
Yes.
Okay.
And so, yeah, well warranted.
He's saving taxpayer dollars because the dude doesn't go to prison, right?
Yep.
You'd think so.
You'd hope so, right? If
No. He did have a court date. He had a day in court, but was going to have another one. It was like a week before this happened. I think the guy who was touching the kid. So, and then let him walk on bail, I believe. And so, yeah.
Where's the GoFundMe for Velasquez?
No kidding.
Yeah. Especially, like, this is one of those, like, crimes of passion as far as I'm concerned, man.
Yep.
Like, that's, you let him out on bail, all right, it's going down.
I'm taking it in my hands since you won't.
Yeah, especially this dude's like, when this came out, before the reason came out, everybody in the fight world was like, what the hell? Nobody expected this from this guy.
Yeah.
Great guy, in his prime, probably the best heavyweight fighter of all time. Like, he was so good until he kept getting injured, right?
Yep.
So it's super big surprise, but then you start to hear the reason, and you're like, all right.
Yep. I'm down with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Wasn't he the boy that fucked up your boy?
The boy that fucked up your boy.
Brock. I think he destroyed Brock once.
He destroyed Brock. Who was the other big dude that Brock beat
in the last? Shane Carwin.
Yeah.
Shane Carwin.
Because
Shane Carwin was fucking him up, and then like if they remember watching
he couldn't
that?
make it, man. He couldn't last.
So we were watching this at B Dubs.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, he's about to lose, and he should. And we're like, god damn, like because he was getting pummeled, his face was bleeding, whole works. It was because he was Brock Lesnar and the champ that they let that fight keep going. Because anyone else, they would have called that bad boy.
Yeah.
Because he was getting pummeled. Then all of a sudden, I don't know, there was like a little slip up and he was able to, wasn't it like a ankle? Like he twisted. It was a submission.
Hit him and
it was a submission.
He pounded him out against the fence.
Yeah.
Was it?
I think he connected and he kind of slipped against the fence and just went crazy on the fence. And
okay.
Yeah.
him.
The fight lasted too long. Carwin had no gas left.
Okay.
He was done. That man, I remember Carwin, though, there's stories about his fist. They're like
and
as
cutting
big as
his
your
gloves.
head.
Yeah, they were cutting his gloves just to fit his hands in there.
It's so big.
Huge. Free Cain.
Yes, sir.
Casey Thompson, who started 10 games and passed for 24 touchdowns for Texas last season, opened Nebraska spring practice Monday as its number 1 quarterback. Duh.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
Duh. It doesn't matter if they would have had Adrian Martinez still. It doesn't matter for his 17th year.
Yeah.
Casey Thompson.
Wish him well. He did a great job.
Yeah.
For Texas, I thought he should have been the starter coming out. They rolled with a younger guy. And I can understand why Steve did that, trying to see what he had. They probably weren't contending last year, and he knew it. So, but Texas got a bright quarterback room for the future. Arch Manning is still in the mix. So that is pretty cool. But I do like Ewers and stuff. But I hope Thompson has a good year.
They hired somebody just recently, right? Texas did, that is like in ties with Arch. I thought it was like maybe like someone from, maybe it was either someone from Ole Miss
I thought I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, they brought somebody in.
Who it was, but
maybe help seal the deal here.
Oh, yeah.
and he's going on like his third visit already. Here
there's
in March or something.
The only way he doesn't go there, the only way he doesn't go to Texas is heartstrings tug at him and he goes to Ole Miss, the family one. That's all that'll be, right?
Which I get why you would,
but
why not set your own road in your to a different school? Go.
But you take all the visits, right? You want to fly me down and
well, you do one.
Pander me a little bit. And
No,
it is weird.
He just means all of them, like all the universities that call you.
You go every single one for sure.
Yep.
Well, what would be intriguing about Ole Miss is Lane Kiffin's offense too. So it isn't like they'd be fully out of the mix. But you guys are heavyweight favorites, especially when you, like I said, they brought in one of his guys, either a family connection or I can't remember exactly what it was, but
plus you're going to the SEC here in a couple years, so family's gonna get to see you playing out that way. Anyways,
you can beat out the family.
Yeah, exactly.
The family university.
Yeah.
Yep. Kevin Durant is set to return to the lineup Thursday from his knee injury that has kept him out for a month.
21 games.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're going to need it. They're going to need it.
They need to get that continuity right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is where it'll start. See what they actually have. And you get Ben Simmons on the court.
Yeah, they just haven't been playing well at all, man. He needs to flip that real quick.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have it in there, but Ben Simmons being set out because of hurting his back.
No, I didn't. I didn't see that. Okay.
Apparently, he was going to sit out a little more because of problems with his back and needing to rehab / condition. Yeah, condition it. So
that's what happens when you take half the year off. And I don't think he was. I don't think he was at any version of practices or anything like that before the season, right?
Right.
There's nothing that can simulate being game ready.
No.
Right.
Nothing quite like that. You did see. I don't know if you guys did see this today. There was a warm debate. This is gonna go right into Danny right here. They were arguing that Steph Curry is top 10 all time player.
You don't gotta say that goes into me. I didn't say he's a top 10 player. Bro.
No, you
that's
just gobble him. But either way, we're all on the same page on that one, right? That nowhere near top 10 player of all time. Not shooter.
Yes.
I'm not saying shooter. I'm talking about actual.
I think there's
player.
potential for him to be.
There's still room to be.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he absolutely can hit it. I don't think it's out of possibility because of how good of a shooter he is.
Yep.
I have to get a little bit better on defense and become an all-around player, I think, but he's already got the shooting in the bag.
Yeah.
I think. So
Chris Paul's ahead of him clearly, right?
Oh yeah.
Nope, not even close. Doesn't have the accolades, bro. But okay, so not top 10. I'm with you on that. But you say nowhere close.
Nowhere
what
close.
does that mean to you?
Well, if at best, off the top of my head, just throwing a number, probably 15.
Okay,
maybe. I'm not. I don't mean like
that.
I don't mean like outside the 20.
Yeah.
I'm saying he's nowhere near that. That top 10 is very coveted. It's very hard to break.
Right.
Yes.
KD isn't even in the top 10.
Right.
He's probably the closest to getting that. He's closer than Curry to me. I do believe that. But not by much. They're right next to each other is what I'm saying.
Yeah, then we're
so
on
if
the
it's
same page.
15, then it's 14 or whatever. But my scenario is right there. I can name the 10. I'm not going to give. I won't give an order, but I can give you the 10 that are going to be there. And then and actually, it still kind of hurts your feelings that you're going to leave this guy and this guy out. You know. So there's only 10 players you can put in the top 10. So it's hard to do anyway. But I just thought it was funny that they turned it into kind of a thing. I think it was on ESPN today on the wonderful Stephen A. Smith show.
Blasphemy.
But I was just like, are you kidding me? That's not even. How is that a conversation? Why are you guys wasting airtime with that?
Right.
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, that is not. That's clearly not. He might not even be top 10 in the league right now.
Well, that's incorrect. But
Yeah, he's definitely top 10 in the league right now.
Yeah, we could see.
All
That's
the
a different
time.
debate.
I think there's room for him to make it for sure, but at the moment, no.
Yep.
I think he's closer than what that made it sound.
What's that?
They were saying he's not even close.
No, well, no. I'm saying that he wasn't. So when I say not even close, so I want to say 1 through 10, and then 11 and 12 should be in the 10, but there's only 10 positions. Right. I don't think he's one of those two either.
Yep.
No,
I got you.
So he's that next little wave right there. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The Pelicans say Zion Williamson's fractured foot is showing signs of improved bone healing, and are really optimistic of what they're seeing.
You think frozen pizzas and Mountain Dew like helps with bone density or repair?
At some level, it does.
Yeah, I wonder if it does.
In that case, why not bump it up from frozen pizza to regular pizza and go on with Barstool Sports CEO Dave Portnoy and do the pizza reviews then?
You see, Jimmer, when the dough freezes and then thaws and it's cooked.
Oh, gotcha.
It does a little something different on your
right.
on your system there. So.
Yeah, the protein in there and it.
And the protein
more absorbs and makes you know.
49ers quarterback Jimmy G is expected to undergo shoulder surgery soon and will be sidelined until the summer. Garoppolo suffered what Coach Kyle Shanahan called a slightly sprained right throwing shoulder in the second quarter of the Niners' wildcard win over the Cowboys.
Well, for the 49ers, who it sounds like they want to ship him out, that's probably not ideal because he's going to definitely have to show. Right, they go through the physicals and stuff, but
you're going to have to show.
Right, you'd probably feel better if he didn't have the shoulder surgery or hear that he didn't have it before you went and traded for him. But
it doesn't put a complete halt to it yet.
No.
Yeah.
How crazy is it that the Niners are really in a very similar situation to what they were in when they had Kaepernick and Alex Smith? So Alex Smith was a good enough quarterback to win you games, could get you to the playoffs. Maybe you'd get to the Super Bowl. He wasn't going to win you those games, though. He just wasn't going to cost you, and that's what Jimmy G is, right?
Yep.
And it's a similar situation. They didn't really know what Kaepernick had, and it's the same thing with your guy. It's like, do we let him go? We know we can win with Jimmy G.
Mm-hmm.
We know that, but he might not take us to that next step. Will he?
Does he? So in their
It's
thought
so
process
eerie to me.
is, and my belief, you guys can disagree with me if you'd like, but in my belief, Jimmy G can't make the throw that you need at the timely manner in which you need it. Like, you need this play right now in a big-time moment. He can't do that. He just something. But like you said, for the most part, he's not going to be the reason you lose a game, right?
Right.
I think you have to go when it's that scenario. If you're truly going for a Super Bowl, then you have to go more with the unknown and the upside, depending on what you're seeing in practice.
Yeah.
You're seeing this guy in practice day in and day out, right? The backup rookie, what's his name? Top of my head. Trey Lance. Trey Lance. You see him in practice every day. You have to see something if you're talking about moving him, right? You're not just moving Jimmy G and you're legit shot at playoff victories because he can lead you to playoff victories. He's already shown that, right? Trey Lance has to be showing something in practice that's like, we can do this, and he can make that special throw that we're going to need at some point that Jimmy G cannot. That may be oversimplified. I understand that, but it just feels like he misses the stuff that when you need it. You need that big time moment when everything else is kind of breaking down or hasn't been going your way or the game is really tight. Jimmy G would be the guy that doesn't throw the interception right there to cost you the game, but he'll lead you to the 4 and out, so you're punting and make you feel like you still have a chance, but then the other team drives the field instead of being the quarterback that puts that game out of reach and throws that dart that ends it. You know what I'm saying? That sucks the wind out of the other team's sails. So
yeah, we're on the same page there.
Yeah.
I think they're hoping for something like what happened with Kansas City to happen. They hit right on the quarterback in the draft, and they can get rid of Alex Smith, who was Jimmy G in this case, right?
But are they? So this is one of the interesting curveballs, because this has been one of the damn conversations too. In fact, I have it in the notes. Where are we at? While we're saying that they're looking at Trey Lance and letting old boy walk, or trade him, they're going to have to trade him, right? They're still flirting with Tom Brady. Or at least the speculation is out there. You know what I'm saying? Like the conversation.
Okay, well, on that note, the Buccaneers come out and said they wouldn't just let Tom Brady walk.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I did see that.
I think
that was
I believe them 100%.
I believe that too.
So,
both Lichty and Arian said that.
So I think I 100% believe them. So I think we can squash that for sure.
Yeah.
You don't. If you're the Bucs, you don't, right?
No, absolutely not.
And
it don't matter.
I don't know if Tom Brady would consider it.
No, I think he's done. I think he retired for the right reason. He didn't retire because of this and the other. He He's done. He has nothing else to prove either. So it's
Nothing else to prove. You retire before everybody remembers you for that last shitty season you had.
Yeah.
Right.
In fact, you're leaving on top, as close to the top without winning the Super Bowl as you can, because he threw for 5,000 yards and over 40 touchdowns.
Because Big Ben, right? He's going to be Hall of Famer, whatever. What are you going to remember? That last 2 years, he probably should have fucking hung him up.
Yeah.
Or 2 years before because he looked horrible.
Looking like dog shit, right?
And I think Tom has too much pride for that, so he can see the writing on the wall.
And building off exactly what you're saying, a lot of people still remember. They still throw it in the face of like the Peyton Manning lovers of, he won a second Super Bowl, but it wasn't him, and he played like dog shit. In fact, he got benched at one point during the season.
Right.
Like, well, come on. He also led them to a Super Bowl that his team let him down too. So, but regardless, that doesn't matter. I'm just saying that's what you don't want to remember somebody by, and why would you come back? That's almost the highest moment you possibly could. It wasn't because of you that they lost.
Yeah. So I think that's that's not happening for sure.
Yeah.
They've just got to figure out. And because teams know they want to trade him away, I think that his value goes down. People know they want to move on. Surgery on top of that. So the value, okay, well, instead of like a second rounder, you get like a third rounder.
Where does he go? Try to name a spot right now that you believe that he'd probably go.
I could see him going to the Colts if they move on from Carson Wentz. I could see
a cheaper route.
I could see them moving on from Carson Wentz.
But for a cheaper route, is that why they would go with him? Because
I don't know what the numbers are, but I know that like the Buccaneers need a quarterback. I can see them going after Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz let them down, right? So is there some ruffles in that front office about, hey man, we've been leaning on this running game all year, and then you go out and shit the bed for our last game to get into the playoffs? Are you kidding me?
Last couple, I think,
right.
Before they
exactly.
got, yep.
So maybe we want to move on, get Jimmy G, who's definitely not going to throw us out of a game, which Carson did, right? He threw a couple of bad picks to lose the game. And so I could see them moving on from him. I don't know. Who else?
I got one for you, if you're ready. And it isn't going to matter, I don't think, because I guess I'm just not a Jimmy G guy, is what it's going to come down to. But the Commanders. So have you seen have you seen what they've been doing? They've literally scoured the whole planet for a quarterback. They even called the Chiefs to ask about the availability of one Patrick Mahomes. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
No,
see
I
that.
didn't see that.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That is funny. But no, that's not happening.
But
actually, that one was another one. Yeah.
They evidently have, and their GM has admitted, not to that one necessarily, but has admitted that they've been scouring. They've touched base on Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson. I can't remember if the Deshaun Watson was on in that conversation, but they have talked to those teams about them.
Yeah, I think Washington has the pieces to do it on defense to be able to make that trade for Jimmy G. All them former first rounders on the line.
It's not a horrible one. I don't know how that would help. It doesn't matter. Winning games is the end goal, right? But I don't think that helps your stud receiver there. I like him too.
Scary Terry.
Scary Terry. I don't know if that will help him, but it doesn't matter if you win games because, like we said, as long as you don't turn the ball over, you play power defense and try to run the rock.
Right, and they got some running backs there that they like, and usually they have a tight end that plays pretty well. So, I mean, that would actually be a really good trade. Like I said, they got plenty of assets on that D line, that front seven that they could ship the other way.
Which kind of wraps back to Danny. Alex Smith went to Washington. That was that trade from Kansas City too. When he moved on.
Yeah,
Washington's still looking for a quarterback, and does the same thing maybe.
It is interesting though. We've talked about this a few times. Like when teams know that you're planning on trading somebody, you're not going to be able to get the same value, right? So the Niners are going to be in a tougher spot with him. And the Packers backtracked and said, we never said that, right? Yeah. For Rodgers, like, okay. And even Pete Carroll came out. I don't know if you saw that. And he's like, we're not planning on trading Russ at all. There's no interest in doing that.
Yeah, you have to say that, right?
Exactly.
At least he's playing the game. You at least have to say we're not trading him.
Yeah, exactly. No matter what everybody knows, you can't say it, So, I don't know.
And the Niners all but said the opposite. basically throughout the
Yeah.
season, right? Every time there's a question about it, they wouldn't deter from it. So you know that there's truth behind it.
Yep.
Speaking of the Packers, GM Brian Gutekunst says he's not getting trade offers from other GMs on Aaron Rodgers. Not at all, he said. Not at all. Not a single person. Now, if you watched this video clip, he was kind of like smirking, smiling, taking a drink of water. So I assume he's joking around that his phone's been blowing up. That's how that's how I take it, because there's already been teams confirmed that they've contacted about Aaron Rodgers. So he's got to be.
You didn't even have to tell us he was smirking. I guarantee. I would have said he's lying for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So players that we know, in our opinion, that aren't going to be with their team next year. Do you think Russell stays with Seattle anyway?
No.
Is there any truth behind Pete Carroll?
Russell plays one more year at Seattle.
Think
Yeah.
so? Okay.
Yep.
And you're saying no?
I don't think so.
Let's go whiskey wager on that.
Hey, I like it. I like it.
Let's do it.
Might as well take a half bottle, 10 high.
No shit.
Yeah, a 10-second chug.
10-second chug.
Ugh. Probably throw up after like 2 seconds, man. What do you think, though, Jimmer?
I think he'll be there because I don't think they'll get the compensation that he should demand.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is when you're talking about an MVP, a quarterback of his stature, not making fun of height, just what his ability is worth what? What I just tell you, what a franchise quarterback is. I told you Deshaun Watson was worth 3-4 first rounders. Russell Wilson's worth almost that too. The only difference is he's a little bit older, so you'd have to value how many years you have of him versus Deshaun.
So, I mean, they would take Kirk Cousins and some picks, right?
Yeah. Stop. Hey, that's getting me excited. We're not talking about that's 3 gigs after dark, Danny. That's 3 gigs after dark. Just
who
like
else,
Deshaun
though?
is.
Who else, though? Aaron Rodgers will not, right? Are we on the same page there?
Yeah, he's not going anywhere. All right, sorry. He is. He will not be with Green Bay.
He will not be with Green Bay.
In fact, I think they're getting a little fed up with this part because they're waiting for his announcement because free agency's right around the corner. Yeah, the goddamn combine and all this. So that also the franchise tender needs to go out here soon too.
Yeah.
Which relates to who?
Yeah.
Devontae.
Aaron Rodgers is loving this because his decision affects every team that's looking for a quarterback. So when he decides ultimately that he probably goes to Denver,
right,
every other team can stop worrying about it and figure out what they need to do.
Well,
I think he's trying to be careful.
No, I think what he wants to is also, one, he wants to see where Devontae plays or, gets tagged or not. But two, I think he would love to take a shot at Green Bay on the way out. I think that's the kind of guy he
think
is.
So?
Yeah, so if he can put them in quarterback limbo, like, hey, look how good you had it. You never did anything for me, with me, included me, all that, and I'm out to Denver. Guess what? You're left with Jordan Love. Good luck. And
right, which we've seen.
Right, exactly.
I think you're right.
I just think that's the kind of guy.
So I'm on both sides. I agree with what you're saying. He is that type of guy, right? I can fully see that. The other side that I'm thinking is that maybe he's gonna make Green Bay make the call by not saying anything, by not saying that he's gonna do it, and then just make them make the call, so he doesn't look like the bad guy, like what Brett Favre looked like to Green Bay. You know what I'm saying? Especially when he went to Minnesota after that too. But like after he got moved, it made it look like it was his fault.
Yeah.
I wonder if he doesn't, because he doesn't want that Green Bay hatred, fan base hatred. It took a little while for Green Bay to get over. In fact, walk him on the field, and there's still a couple boos like on his Green Bay Hall of Fame induction.
Yeah, yep.
But I could clearly see that too, where it's like, yeah, there's a shot in there too.
It's just a little annoying because he basically made his decision when he said $50 million.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So just say,
Yeah, I don't want to be here. Just say it. That's what we all read.
Or the GM sack up then. Be like, we're not paying you $50 million. Like, let's stop talking between the lines. Just say, I'm not paying you $50 million.
If that's really what you want.
If that's really what you want, there's no negotiating $50 million for one season. So.
Right.
But you can't say that because you also look like the bad guy that lets him lets one of the greats walk out the door, right?
Yeah.
So, What else did I have? The New York Giants are willing to entertain calls for running back Saquon Barkley, says their new GM Joe Schoen.
God.
Yeah, I saw this coming. I think I said they could trade him away.
It would save him $7.2 million.
And that's not I'm worried about.
No.
I mean, it's what could I get in a haul for a guy who hasn't been on the field for me?
Yeah, exactly. That's where my head's at too. I'm like, who's willing to take the risk and pay what they probably want for that risk? You know,
it'd have to be at least. This is just my guess. It would have to be a high-end 3 or a second rounder, nothing less.
Yeah.
A 3, and I'm talking about a high-end 3. Like, it would have to be like those top 5 picks in the third round. That's the lowest I think they would go, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think you're getting a second rounder for sure for him.
I think second round. I think he's worth a second round gamble, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A gamble on it. I mean, I understand what you're saying. Dude's never on the field.
He's a game changer, but yeah, he's.
You put him in front of an
up.
offensive line, and if he can stay healthy, then we're talking. God, the 1 year that he was special. I mean, and he's one hell of a receiver out of the backfield too, so he's dual threat.
Yeah.
I thought of a couple. If they do trade him, try to not think about the assets part of this, okay? Think of the teams that would be interested and need him right now. Who could you see him with? Don't think about what they have for assets. That's what I'm saying. Take the assets part out of it, because if you really wanted him bad enough, they would come up with some version of assets.
Yeah.
I got 2 for you.
I mean,
I'm surprised you're not jumping on one right now,
Buffalo.
Rio. Yeah, there you go.
You know, looking at.
There you go. That's exactly
They wish-wash so bad between running backs, and
Yeah.
now you can make a commitment to run the game and not putting your star quarterback in jeopardy because they ran him a whole lot.
Yeah.
Who else?
I had them as one. I had 3 that I kind of narrowed down, but that was my clear cut. But go ahead.
Baltimore, run heavy. You know, you kind of have a question mark back there. We never got to see
J.K. Dobbins.
Yep. Right? He got hurt, but it was his year to be the lead back. They got rid of Mark Ingram and then.
Absolutely. And in that offense, you need 2 legit running backs anyway, because they run the rock so much.
Exactly. So you go, hey, we got a stud, and then we got
J.K. whatever he is, yep.
Right.
Danny, you got one over there?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards Vegas.
Over, okay. The
KC,
injury,
baby.
but that'd be bringing on 2 kind of injury.
Well,
prone.
I mean, Josh Jacobs is
is-
just a running back. He's not a pass catcher very well out of the backfield. He's a big guy, right? A lot of carries. So you could reduce some of the carries and use Saquon as the pass receiving running back. Have both of them out there. Defenses don't know how to react.
I don't think I like Kenyon. They have Kenyon Drake, who is your pass catcher, and then they have
For a way bigger discount.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
they have who
That's
you're
true.
just talking about. So I don't. But sorry to rain on your thunder.
Yeah.
there, but-
I'm thinking like they don't have a great offensive line, but most of the teams that have good offensive lines have good running backs. You think of the
Yeah.
Colts, the Ravens, things like that. I don't
Well,
know.
I got
good running backs. We don't really know
some of
about
them, yeah.
Baltimore's.
J.K., he showed a little spark, but he
Yeah.
didn't have a full season
Right,
of it,
he
so I
didn't
got to
have a
say,
full
yeah.
starter.
I think he's going to be a stud once he's
Yeah,
healthy in there.
I thought
but
he was gonna be fine.
but what he's saying is it isn't proven yet.
right.
Like, I wanted him so bad second round of fantasy draft. That's what I wanted
Yep.
because I was going on banking on the upside where I got to see
Yep. No,
the
me
few
too.
touches.
Me too.
So I'm going to give you a couple others. Think about this for a second. So keeping it in the same division as your Bills, the Dolphins. If you believe Tua is your guy, which they have, by the way, their coach and them have came out, and GM have came out and said that Deshaun Watson, that is a no. That will not happen. So they basically admitted that they had the conversation. Remember how before they were kind of shady about it, blah, blah, blah. They admitted they had the conversation by saying that conversation is off the table now. So you have some weapons there. Maybe
Plenty of cap to sign him to what running backs are going for.
plenty of cap. You don't have a running back, and you may not feel that you're fully out of it. And you brought an offensive mind in as your head coach. So that's one that I have. And two others. I'm not going off I believe the Ravens too. So that's one. But Philadelphia. Miles Sanders can't quite stay healthy. And I don't know if Miles Sanders is special either, because Miles Sanders can't get in the end zone.
No.
He's great between the 20s.
But they like to run the other guys, though.
They do.
Look
they
at
do.
the guys who they brought in.
And they
inside the 10, they'd give them the ball.
Yep, absolutely. And they make almost any running back work. So I'm not saying that wouldn't even make sense necessarily, but he is a different monster. First off, it has to be a trade, so no way they're trading him in division anyways.
I was going to say, they're not going to trade him in division.
Yep.
They don't want to see him.
Yep. But the off-the-ball one, I'm going to give you, okay? This is the one that you're going to be like, what the hell? The Falcons. If they believe, because they have said that they are keeping Matt Ryan this season. And you were 7-9, is that where they finished? 7-9, 8, or whatever it was. You know the new thing. So 8-9. That division is wide open, gentlemen.
Yeah, but they got in that their record is deceiving. They got really lucky in those, less than 7-point games.
Absolutely. I'm just talking about purely this division, though.
Yep.
This division is wide open now, right? Sure. Probably the Buccaneers would still be kind of the favorite, and that's without a quarterback because of their defense, right? Yeah. And they have they have plenty of offensive weapons. But Atlanta, if they feel like they can hang and bang with them, all they need to do is win the division to get to the dance,
Yeah.
And then one I just noticed, this wasn't even part of mine. You're going to laugh at me. What about Jacksonville?
I say no because they have Travis at ETN, right? He didn't get to see what he was going to do as he tore his foot or whatever, hurt his foot.
They have so much cap space too, though.
God, who's their running back?
James Robinson. But this is a different animal. That's like both of those guys combined into one guy.
I don't think so. I think they were committed after Urban left. They were kind of committed to James Robinson until he got hurt. I think that. Now, here's one. Kansas.
Oh, that's what you're looking at.
Kansas City.
I'm like, who am I not thinking of?
Right? They struck out on Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah.
How about Ship?
Yeah. I don't know if they got for the money.
Yeah, but we were trying to.
But just like we said,
don't
ignore the assets right now.
So
because if you can swing money around, you can figure something. Yep.
So that
would be scary.
We struck out.
That'd be scary, especially if he could come back to.
How about Casey? I want to call out Dubs White on this one. I told him that kid from Wisconsin was the stud to get, and he was like, nope.
Yep.
I like that, and they're fine. I'm like, no, dude, you pick a guy who's proven.
We both jumped the shit out of him about that because we're like, dude, you took at best the third best one because J.K. Dobbins is better than him.
Right, exactly, yeah.
That came out of that same draft too.
Yep.
I'm like, at best, and you took him in the first round. You didn't even take the best running backs available.
Yeah, it wasn't even the best running back.
And you're 100% right. Jonathan Taylor, the man beast from Wisconsin, who was Danny's MVP last year. And man crush.
Yep.
Stud.
Oh, he is a stud, so not talking shit. But maybe they want I was just thinking about Jacksonville just because in that division, I mean, they all have, except for Texans, but they all have like a stud, like one of the stud running backs in the league. You have Henry, and you need to be able to chew up some of these games too. I don't know if James Robinson can do that. We know fantasy numbers. He did all right like 2 years ago. Last year, Urban Meyer.
Yeah, well, I think they'll be just fine because it's become a two-back league, right? And so I think ETN will be
that will be huge. Yep,
huge. He's going to have the connection with O'Boy right away for receiving out of the backfield and such. So,
do you have another one to pitch in over there?
I don't know if there's any other great fits. I feel like he's not going to end up on a good team. I think it's going to be a shitty team that is willing to give up more than other teams would give for him. Mm-hmm. So I have a feeling it would be like the Texans in reality or something like that.
I don't know. They have nothing to give up. And I understand we did no assets involved, but they literally have nothing. You're not moving nothing. They stripped their team down. Remember, they traded all those picks away too.
Yeah. So it'd be future there.
Yeah, it'd be like down the road picks, and I don't know.
I just don't have any. I don't know, man. I don't see any great spots. It'd be something like maybe Carolina be swapping injury prone for injury prone. You know
what about? Well, it wouldn't be a swap for, but what about Detroit? Pair him up with DeAndre. Take some miles off of DeAndre Swift's legs too.
Yeah.
You know, and it goes along the line of a team that isn't exactly really good, but they might believe that they're building the culture that they want, depending on how their draft is going to go here. They won more games than we thought they were going to win.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
You're always right. Oh, and you probably save his body because you're always getting blown out, so you're going to have to throw the rock.
Right, absolutely. So, Danny, no other ones, right?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't like it.
Don't like it. The New York Liberty were fined $500,000 for chartering flights to away games during the second half of the WNBA season and for other violations of league rules, including an unsanctioned team trip to Napa, California. The flights were bought by team owners Joe Tsai, co-founder of a Chinese tech company, Alibaba. Actually, you know that from stock days, right? You know that one?
Oh, yeah.
Alibaba Group, and his wife Clara, who purchased the Liberty and NBA's Brooklyn Nets in 2019. Chartering typically isn't allowed in the WNBA out of fear it would create competitive advantage for teams whose owners can afford bankrolling such costly arrangements. So other teams can't pay for chartering flights, basically.
Yeah. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
It was a joke. When I saw this, I was like, it's a joke.
I'm like, hold on a second. That WNBA team holds what? 15 players? What do you mean competitive advantage?
Yeah.
You still got to pay the player too. They're not going to pay. They can't pay 15 players over $1 million a season.
It matters coming out of the owner's pocket. It's not coming off of when I saw that, I was just didn't make sense.
Yeah, it's like saying that your CEO can't give you a gift.
Yeah.
Right? Like come down and be like, "Hey, appreciate what you guys have done." Yeah, but we don't like that because you didn't go give that to this specialty group that is one of your affiliates. You didn't give them the same gift, so that's an advantage. What?
Right. Yeah, no kidding.
I kind of chuckled a little bit.
It would almost be like
$500,000.
Zimpro getting fined for taking us to the ball game when they used to in Christmas parties and fined us because Winnebago wouldn't or couldn't.
That's in the local area. You can't do that. That's a competitive advantage.
Right. They may want to come work for Zimpro.
Exactly. They may you're pulling people away from Bago.
Yeah, doesn't make sense.
You can't even because of the revenue, you can't pay them as much as maybe they deserve. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you can at least fucking charter them.
Yeah, no shit.
That's so stupid to me. I don't.
That's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. I actually kudos to the Liberty for taking care of their players, I guess. I mean,
100%.
Every one of the owners is some version. It isn't like you just became an owner of a WNBA team even without being a, pretty damn wealthy person.
Right.
So if you had to come out of your pocket and pay for some flights to take care of your players.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cheap asses. LeBron says, I've got a chance until you stomp me out, cut my head off, bury me 12 feet under, then I got a chance. So that's my confidence. This is after losing 109-104 to the Mavs on Tuesday, dropping 6 of the last 7 games. Their overall record is 27-34, ranking 9th in the West. Does it matter? Because even if they make it into the play-in, gentlemen, do you really see them fucking
beating Phoenix?
Right.
Or just making a run in general? Maybe they win that play-in game, but who gives a shit? They're not going to just snap into one of the best teams in the West or in the NBA. Yeah,
right. They're not just. They're
not beating Golden State. They're not beating Phoenix. They may not even beat Denver, Minnesota the way they're playing this year. I'm not even close to kidding right now.
They're not going to beat Utah, Memphis. They're not.
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
Like LeBron, I like the thought. I'd like the thought if you actually ran back on defense because I watched some of those.
Yeah.
I watched some of that. Did you see some of that against the Mavs?
Yeah. Did you see Luka get pissed and then with that putback?
Oh, yeah.
Pissed? Oh, yeah. Like, you just let him do that.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
No, absolutely. Luka played like a monster. LeBron did bring him back in that game. There was no offense from the rest of the team for the most part. But at the end of the day, if you want to make a play and you want to make a statement to your team only, run back on defense, swat a ball, poke at a ball, do something. Because it's not just on one side of the court, you know.
Right.
Make a play and inspire your team.
Right, yeah.
They all know you can score with the best. Anyone can do that. Show them that you're ready, you're willing to get down right now. You want to make the push, that's what you need to do.
Yeah. 100%.
I just don't see it happening, and the rest of the team isn't quite there either.
Right.
Somewhat related news to that, there's reports coming out that old boy wants out too.
Yep.
You guys seen that?
Who?
Russell
Westbrook.
Oh,
So he
yeah,
wants to be traded in the
I
offseason.
see.
And Rob Pelinka, they're looking for.
I said this summer they're going to look for a new home for him. They come out.
No.
Yep.
Too late.
Yeah. I don't know. Okay, so I don't believe anything would have happened. I don't think anything would have helped their season, really. But it obviously wasn't working with Russell, right? So you almost had to. Like, you should have taken the roll of the dice on John Wall at that point. I don't think it would have done anything. I really don't. I don't think it would have made the record any better. I don't think anything would have been any better. But obviously something wasn't clicking there. Something isn't right. You should have tried to separate it and show that you're trying to do. Because they weren't showing anything that showed a spark of any way as a team, right?
Yeah.
No.
So,
Well, Braun needs the ball in his hands, and so does Russell. It just wasn't going to work.
and Russell turning the ball over 8 times a game is just.
Yeah.
The Bills are interested in signing Gronk if he decides not to retire.
He won't.
No, he's going to retire.
He won't. One, I think he's got too much respect for the Patriots organization. He only went to Tampa because of Tom, and I don't think he would play against the Patriots.
No, and he wants to go into the Hall of Fame with Tom Brady. So if he plays again, that's going to delay that, but Tom's going to go in before him. So
Okay.
it won't
I didn't
happen.
think about the Hall of Fame part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
I didn't think about that part, but yeah. I thought the only person that he would, well, this one was intriguing to me for the fact that it is, I didn't even think about him being with the Bills. I was like, oh, Josh Allen. We'd see, whatever. And especially if you went out and got the running back we were just talking about. Load up, baby.
Yeah.
But I was like, if he's gonna play, he's already blown the dude. Joe Burrow. It'd be with Cincinnati. I mean, he's already said he's flat out said that. He's like, if I would continue my career, it'd be with Burrow, right? So
Right.
of course everyone who wants some Gronk, baby.
Yep.
And that's what I got, gentlemen.
Boom.
There was
There is one news I wanted to bring out. I saw
Yes,
it
sir.
come across. Stanford women's soccer player Katie Meyer dies at 22. Goalkeeper and captain of the Stanford women's soccer team, national champ in 2019, passed away. So prayers out to her.
Do you know what happened?
No, it was on campus death.
Oh.
So still being investigated. Come out this afternoon. So prayers to her. Definitely in the whole
Absolutely.
team as well.
Yep.
So I sent you guys a thing. I don't know if you guys are end up doing it or not, but I did do it. I'm not going to talk about it today. I'll talk about it probably Friday, depending on how much news and all that stuff we got going on. But found an interesting app that anyone that is a mock draft, NFL mock draft junkie, needs to go ahead and check out. It's on PFF Mock Draft Simulator. This thing's pretty tits. You can go one team. You can do multiple teams. You can do them all. You can go multiple rounds. You can go 1 through 7.
So if you did one team, does it simulate the other teams?
Yep.
Yeah.
And stuff?
Yep.
That's-
Brings
I
you
haven't
down to
looked
that.
that close at it yet. So
Yep.
I haven't got dug into it as well. I started messing around with it and just was like, okay, well, I have to do some more looking into
Yep.
it.
But you get, it'll speed through. You can set the speed in which it comes to you. You can do trades. Like what if you
that's
believe a
fucking cool. Okay.
Yeah, so you can trade your picks up and multiple years too. Like if I want your first round, your number 1 overall pick or something, you can give away, your this year's and multiple years first round picks to get that one. Like actually kind of like a GM version.
Yeah. All right.
But that's what I was going to base mine off of instead of just going old school pen and paper.
Say the
Already-
name of the app again.
PFF draft or mock draft simulator.
Okay.
So this is the same one that we use. They do a fantasy mock draft simulator too. Is that? I think that's the same site. I think it's the same site, but PFF mock draft simulator. Type that in. It's fun if you like to mess around with it.
Boom.
Gives you stats. So if you click on the players too, it'll give you analysis. You kind of try and treat it like that too, and read into. It'll give you the team's needs, all that kind of stuff. Cool stuff like that. But I was experimenting with it, and I'm gonna give you one that's gonna drop your jaw.
Okay.
Because I remember a couple of them for sure, but the number 3 pick. Is that who it is? Texans. I think they're the number 3 pick, right? Does that sound right? It goes Jaguars,
Lions, Texans, I think.
Lions, Texans.
I think so. Yeah.
Number 3 pick. I'm going to give you a teaser. It's going to be Sam Howell.
Ooh.
Yuck.
I'll explain it on Friday, though. But not because I'm a fan of him. Just, I got something for you. But we ready for some Rio's randoms?
Let's rock.
Yes, we are.
Dun, 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 dun. Have you dug up some like music sound or like intro music for his Rio's randoms yet?
No, we need to do something.
We need to think something up here.
Yeah.
Definitely. Tonight's Rio's Randoms brought to you by Bo's Power Washing out of Belmont, Iowa. Hit our guy up. He was on the podcast a few nights ago. Hit him up. He does any kind of cleaning for you. He'll mow your lawn, weed eat for sure. Spring's right around the corner. He'll push snow, move that for you in the wintertime. I know we're just breaking out of the winter spell, so that may have to hold off till next winter. But hit him up at 641-903-1720. All right, tonight, cut one, trade one, start one.
Ooh, okay.
Kirk Cousins, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson.
Jesus.
Okay, so
I had to put Cousins in there because
we're cutting Kirk.
You know. What?
We're cutting Kirk. Trading.
You left this very generic.
This one's kind of.
Is this a 1-season thing?
Yeah, that's a good question too.
I don't know. Just
what
are you doing?
He's leaving it so wide open,
it's
man.
so wide
That's
open.
Our shit. You
So,
know that's
okay.
talking.
We're all cutting Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
No, I would have cut Kirk Cousins if it's only for if it's multiple years, because Aaron's gonna sit there and flirt with me every single year that he's gonna retire. 1 season though, of course, yes.
Yeah, cut Kirk, trade Aaron Rodgers, keep Russ. That's where I'm going.
Okay.
Where are you going? Cutting Kirk for sure. Oh, you're keeping Kirk?
No.
You go.
So if it's for 1 season, I'm gonna make my stipulation on this one. If it's for 1 season, it's still cut Kirk. I think it still would be cut Kirk the other way either way. But trade Russell, go for Aaron. I'm actually believing that if my team is built pretty decent, Aaron Rodgers can make everybody around him better. Russell Wilson.
Rio, you have to switch Kirk with Dak.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
I like that.
Okay. That is tough.
How's that
That's
tough?
nice.
He's not better than Kirk.
So here's I'm gonna cut Rodgers. I'm gonna trade Dak, and I'm gonna start Russell.
Okay.
You're cutting who? Rodgers? You said?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Cutting away from him. You know, when's the fall off gonna be?
Yeah.
When is it? Is it gonna
I'm
be
with
this
you.
year? Is it gonna be
That's the
next
reason why
year?
it's
Is it gonna
tough.
be-
Yep.
So on that note, if it's Dak instead of Cousins, I'm trading Dak.
Dude, if Dak and Cousins were in the same conversation, you're cutting Dak and you're trade.
No.
Yes.
No, I'm cutting Cousins for
Yeah.
sure.
No, so this is the nice cute version or the rated PG version of fuck one, marry one, kill one.
Yes.
Pretty much, yeah.
But are we gonna go with
All right, fuck one, marry one, kill one. Cousins, Rodgers, Russell Wilson.
Oh, dude. Oh, dude.
Okay,
Definitely taking small.
Yeah.
Not taking
Jeez.
Genghis Khan.
Okay, moving on.
You nasty.
Which one is are we most likely to see within the next 50 years or even 100 years? A superhero or zombies?
Zombies.
Zombies.
We're almost
for
there.
sure.
We're almost
Zombies
there.
for sure.
Okay, yeah. So have you seen those like down the Florida ones?
Yeah, they were eating the bath
Flesh.
salts.
Yeah,
salts,
and
yeah.
but eating like flesh
Yeah.
and one dude. Yeah, we're either there or we're not on the breakout part yet. But yeah,
Dude, I saw
there
this.
might be superheroes too. You know,
Yeah, maybe every million zombies we get a random superhero or something, right?
Yeah.
Someone's got to save us.
I saw this
Right.
random TikTok or something the other day where this lady's like dancing. And she's like 5 years clean, whatever, and it was bath salts. And she's like, 5 years ago, I bit off 5 of my fingers doing bath salts. And so she puts her. I'm like,
You just got a claw.
Jesus. Like, you hear
Holy
the
cow.
stories, but man.
Yeah. Yeah, zombies for sure. We
Yeah.
do a lot of. I mean, look, we created the coronavirus, so
Yeah,
We can-
absolutely. And we've been training for this day, right? If you grew up in our age, you played Call of Duty.
yeah.
Call of Duty has zombies in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've been training for this day,
Oh
gentlemen.
yeah. Give me
So-
that ray gun, baby.
Yeah. What was that? I know you've seen that meme, the one with the stepbrothers. He's like, I didn't ask for this. I asked for zombies. I asked
Oh.
3 times.
Yeah. And so my last one, the worst teacher you have ever had. So mine, there's the one. She walked on me taking a dookie and wanted to watch.
that sets the bar kind of high, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's probably gonna be her. She did not like me for whatever reason. Like she was just
Well, obviously, because you didn't get up
horrible.
and show her that dang.
right, exactly.
That's exactly what it was. You're holding it back.
right.
Worst teacher, Danny. So we didn't have a bunch of young hotties like this wave that's went through it now. We had the older ladies that were they're already grouchy. They're 30 years of this.
Yeah.
And so I have a few to choose from. I'm just trying to think of my worst one. But you got one?
Yeah, man. So I think back to 5th grade, and I was the man at Around the World. The cards that
Yeah,
you
yeah,
have to
yeah.
guess, or you have to say the multiplication or whatever, the math problems. And I would crush that, right? And I was at a point where I think I went around the room like twice or something, right? And she flipped a card and I said a number, and the other person said something. I don't know what they said, but the teacher said that I was wrong. She said that you didn't say that. She said that. I was like, no, bitch. So long story short, I should be playing Around the World to this day, dominating my peers at that age. Okay, but
It's still going.
she made me miss out on the world record. So
Wow.
don't remember her name, but I think about that to this day.
To this day.
I had multiples. So for whatever reason, I had a lot of teachers that were like man haters. Like and yeah, I probably brought some of the shit on myself too. But I mean, just watch them in general. But I do have one for you. Miss Beer. She was not a pleasant person. In fact, I like so much of an unpleasant person that I may have carved into a desk. Miss Beer rhymes with bunt. And
she's a runt.
and
I'm
a
not-
runt.
Was
I'm
she
not,
really short?
not pulling anything.
You're not pulling anything? You know Joey Kelly. He uses this word like a comma. Don't play stupid with me. And you played Call of Duty with him. So
What does Joey Kelly say?
I said, and I rarely ever say that word, right? But I carved that in. I was pissed, and it was it was a science table, so it was like kind of like granite top. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it wasn't like just like a normal desk. Yeah. I don't know. Someone ratted on me because I had it covered up at first.
Snitch.
Yeah.
Must be related to Tom G.
So I got called down to the principal's or sent down to the principal's office. Obviously, hey, you can't be doing that. That's destruction of personal property. And you're saying something. I'm like, well, she's like, you can't be talking about teachers like that. And I think she even said it's like it's rude and defamatory or something like that. I'm like, no, it's factual. Like, have you never worked with this woman?
I can see both sides.
I can see both sides. So I got a 3-day suspension.
Oh.
Yeah. Two
Call my
things
mom.
can be true at once. Okay.
So I thought my mom was gonna kill me. Like she got plenty of phone calls about ISS, but getting suspended from school didn't happen that many times in my career. But that one, I thought for sure I was gonna get murdered by my mom when I go home. She's like, my mom, and she hates that word too. That's like her ultimate. So I get home and I'm like waiting for her to get off work. I'm like, fuck, because my mom could be really mean back then. She comes in. She's like, so you got suspended, huh? I'm like, yeah, Miss Beer. Me and her got into it. Yeah, what do you mean got into it? You carved into a desk that I have to pay $100 to get fixed, or whatever it was. And I went straight to sympathy mode. I'm like, so sorry, I let my anger get the best of me. Blah, blah. She's like, isn't this the same bitch that messes with you all the time? I'm like, yeah. You owe me $100. That's all. So what I'm saying is, I didn't get grounded. I didn't get my ass whooped.
Shit.
Nothing. All I had to do is like, you owe me the money back.
Yeah.
You're like, I got you, Mom. Don't worry.
And and then don't do it again.
Yeah. Yeah, this teacher, the same one that she'd come in the bathroom and was like, didn't believe that I wasn't trying to take a dookie, right? She wanted to watch me. She didn't, so I won a spelling bee that grade or whatever, and she wouldn't let me go to the party. So anybody who made like the final whatever, they had a party. She had a party for them. Well, so some kid spelled this word and got it wrong, and I laughed, and she like didn't let me go to the party. She said I was being mean. I was like, what are you talking about? I didn't say anything.
Just laughed.
I just laughed, right? It was an easy word.
You do kind of have an insulting laugh, though.
I do. Like, you're a fucking moron. But didn't let me go. I would read books or whatever. Like, we had a sticker chart. If you read books, you put it on there, and after got so many, you'd get a prize or some crap. Like, she was always, like, not believing that I read the books I was supposed to and stuff like that. And, for whatever reason, did not like me. It's weird, weirdest thing. But
you had to a reminder of like an ex-boyfriend or something, right?
Yes, I don't know. But, yeah. And that is what I have for Rio's Randoms tonight.
Rio's
Randoms.
Randoms.
Brought to you by Bo's Power Washing.
Shout out, Bo. Make sure you guys hit him up. We're about at that point.
Yep.
You gotta need some shit done.
Cleaning.
Jimmer, you got any weird laws tonight?
I do. And that is, do not wash your neighbor's car without permission in Los Angeles. It's against the law.
I could see it. They always had them water saving deals, right? The droughts and stuff. So, yeah.
Okay. I just thought it was weird. You can't wash someone's vehicle.
So is it because homeless people try to wash people's windshields
right,
and stuff?
Get money.
Yeah. Wonder if there's something there.
No, it says wash
hey,
it with
bro,
a sponge and all
hey,
that
bro,
stuff. Yeah.
I washed your car. Cool. You gonna toss me any change? Hell no.
Hell no. Okay, right back to
right. Hey, I shit on your car.
That being said, though, wouldn't that be the weirdest thing? Even if you live in like the nicest town in the world, wouldn't that be the weirdest thing? You come outside and your neighbor's like washing your vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so that had to have happened on some version for it to become a law, right? It had to have been on the creep. It had to be on the creep side. Why it became a law? Like, dude, why are you on my property and washing my vehicle?
Mm-hmm.
Because we wave at each other when we pull in the driveway.
Maybe it was a trick people were trying to do. They'd bring over stuff like they're gonna wash somebody's car, and then they'd look in it and whatever. Oh, I was just gonna wash your car, and then they were getting away with it. I don't know. I don't know what it could have been, man.
Could have been. We know a guy. We know a guy that did a little window peeping.
Yeah.
Oh, old Wild Bill. We won't go any further than name, but just Wild Bill.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So maybe it's something like that. They come over there just because, woman's getting dressed in the window and she looks out and there's a dude right there. Like, what the hell? And the cops get there. Oh, no, I was washing the vehicle.
Yeah.
No, you were waxing something.
Right. Why are your pants around your ankles?
Right.
She called me a creep and pervert. I'm certainly no creep.
Certainly no creep.
Just try to apply the clear coat protectant. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
Boom. All right. Well, before we close her out, let's hear it and make sense if you don't think about it, Rio.
Okay. Yeah. So this one, it's about myself.
Imagine that. Can't wait.
So when I was younger, I liked to do a lot of fishing, right? And I was just always looking for that big monster. And you know how they stock ponds?
Trouser trout. He's talking.
Right, that's what
Trouser trout. So, anyways, all I found was minnows. It was crazy. anyways, they have these things called stock tanks, and they're stocked ponds. People would just stock these ponds so they could fish on it, or the family, or whatever. So me and this friend of mine, he knew this guy. He had done some work for him and knew he had stocked ponds. And he's like, hey, man, we can just jump his fence or whatever and go fish on some of his ponds. And I'm like, okay, cool. Well, long story short, it wasn't cool for us to be doing that. So what we would do is do it at night. And we would hop his fence or whatever and walk and just take small fishing rods and go and fish and catch. We wouldn't take anything because it was just like bass and stuff you wouldn't eat. We'd just catch them and throw them back. So the guy ended up catching us this one time. And I don't know if he had cameras up. I'm not sure how he ended up catching us, but he ended up just calling us out, right? His buddy worked there, and then he come up when I picked him up one day, and he's like, hey, I know y'all are fishing on my ponds. Y'all need to stop that or you're going to be in big trouble. He's like, I'm not going to tell you again. It's like, oh, okay. And we're like, how the hell does he know? Don't know how he knows. He must have had cameras up. So anyways, did we stop there being young kids?
No.
Hell no. We were like, fuck that old man, right? Like, we're going to go catch us some fish. So one night, we're fishing. And how the land goes is kind of a hill, and it drops down, and then there's the pond. So we're fishing, whatever, and it's pretty dark, and we're like, all right, this is a good one, and we're catching a little bit, and I hear what sounds like a motor running and stuff like that. I'm like, what the hell? All of a sudden, over the hill comes this four-wheeler. I'm like, oh, shit. So we're throwing stuff and we take off running. And it's probably 100 yards or so, 50 to 100 yards to the fence. So we're hauling. And I've got half a leg, right? So I can't run that fast. Anyways, all I hear is a boom and a pain like on my back and on my arm. End up getting to the fence and hopping over and whatnot. And I'm bleeding from the side and stuff like that. And my buddy looks, he's like, yeah, but there's no like, I'm like, I got shot. It's like, there's no hole or nothing like that. I got shot with a salt gun.
No.
Yes, that shit hurt so fucking bad. Dude, and it hit me on like part of my back. And you know the part of that back, part of your elbow and tricep that like is real sensitive? Yeah, so I was black and blue on like that back part of my arm and then on the back of my back for like 3 weeks almost. I was black and blue.
Oh, shit.
Guess what I was not doing much of anymore after that night?
You never went back into that?
I was not fishing at his fishing ponds no more. Because I knew he meant business.
No doubt.
So it makes sense if you don't think about it. The moral of the story, folks, if you got some stuff that's not yours, you shouldn't be dabbling in it, I guess.
Especially when you got a warning?
Yeah, especially when you got a warning. Not the brightest move on my part there. I hurt, like I said, it was probably a month. And I was sore for like another 2 weeks after the bruising finally went down. I thought I got shot. I thought I was dead. I was like, I'm bleeding out. I'm like, call an ambulance. Yeah.
I got shot. Well, they do take shit like that serious on there, right? Don't they have like some landowner rights like that? If you're on there, they can shoot at you.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
not good. I did not feel great. So, lesson learned the hard way for myself.
Ouch.
It hurt.
That's
so
when
bad.
you learn that stuff, right? When you're a kid. Do dumb shit.
At least it wasn't a shotgun shell. I guess I can say that. It was a salt gun instead. God.
Oh,
did not feel good.
Makes sense. You don't think about it.
Absolutely. Well, we'll get it wrapped up, everybody. Make sure to check out the podcast. Where, Jimmer?
Everywhere that you listen to your podcast at. Spotify, Apple, Google, Facebook, YouTube.
That's right.
And anywhere else in between.
Yes, sir. So make sure you check it out. Give us a rating. Make some comments. All those different things. And we love to hear stories, too.
Like, click, share. Like, click, share. Like, click, share.
Baby. Get that into your heads, ladies and gentlemen. And we love to hear stories, too. We like to banter, talk shit a little bit. Mm-hmm. It all goes down.
In the DMs, go ahead and shoot us a funny message, a story. Makes sense if you don't think about it. We'll get that story out to the folks that want to hear about it. You know they do, and we do, too. don't forget about our raffle going on up at Gentleman's Way in Garner, Iowa. If you go get a haircut, you can enter your name into a drawing, and we will pay for your next haircut there.
Yeah.
That's right, baby. Well, hey, thank you everybody again for listening. This is 3 Gig Sports.
We out.
Discussions, I've been writing, I love